And now, coming at you from the 5-Star Physique Studio in Knoxville, Tennessee, this is The Drop Set with your host, Darren Starr.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Drop Set. This is episode number 188. I am your host, as always, Darren Starr. I am here with today's guest. This is the president and CEO of the company Made2Macro, a meal prep company. This is Alexis Urso. How you doing, Alexis?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Thanks. For having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I feel like sometimes I have to club people over the head and kidnap them to get them to come on the podcast, but you came willingly.
I love talking about myself. It's like my favorite.
Awesome. Well, I will just let you go. I'm going to walk away and you just talk about yourself for a little while, and then I'll come back and stop recording after a while. So, so we were talking before we started here in our little pre-interview segment. You're doing a bunch of cardio right now.
Yeah.
You're waking up, you're doing fasted cardio, you're doing post-workout cardio.
Yeah.
What are your macros currently?
So I actually carb cycle. So I'll have a high day. I'm actually more of a meal plan girl. Just tell me what to eat and when to eat it.
That's funny.
Versus tracking macros, which is the whole thing behind my company is, I started just tracking macros, but I feel like when I'm getting towards a certain goal and I need to get down to the nitty gritty and I'm trying to, gain in this area or cut over here, different times of year, I feel like me having a more structured plan is definitely easier for me. Just tell me what to eat, when to eat it. And I'm busy enough. I don't have time to be like, oh, measure this. And my company does that. I have all my meals ready to rock.
That's my theory as well. It's like, I am a coach. And as a result of that, I understand the value in having a coach. I want somebody to tell me what to do, because otherwise I guarantee I will be my own worst client.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I'll be a pain in the ass and I will make my own life hell. And I don't need that.
I don't need it. So I literally just plug my meal plan into my system that I use anyways. And we just plan it throughout the week. And
sweet.
Everything's cooked. Everything's measured. Everything is ready to rock. I just pull a meal out of my fridge and just put it in the microwave. That's
the way to do it. I almost had a feeling, I don't know if it was a suspicion or maybe a hope, that if we started talking about your meal plan, you might say something like, I don't know, I just have Burger King or whatever. I don't follow a meal plan.
Oh God.
Like, that would have been hilarious. You got to admit.
You know what? Burger King makes me so sick.
I mean, I think it's what it's designed to do, but I love it.
It makes me so sick. And I love that char-broiled, because I'm a foodie, I love to eat, obviously, but that char-broiled flavor is, I crave that. I love that in the taste of a Burger King, but I can't eat it.
The worst is, there was a gym I was going to over here. It's like when gyms opened up after the pandemic, I switched. Once I started going back, I switched to this other gym that's a little closer to home, and there's a barbecue joint right outside. And so you walk out from your workout and it's just like this smoky, pork smell. And it's like, you people are assholes being right next to a gym.
You just want to float over there.
Yeah. I never did.
I love barbecue.
Yeah. It's tempting. So the real question here, cardio, meal plan, etc. What are you working towards? You got a specific goal that you are working towards at the moment?
Yeah. So, I've, always, aesthetically, I've always wanted to get to a certain spot. It's changed over time. I started in bikini. I was like the biggest girl on stage. I'm 5'2", but I'm not, I don't get this big.
You're not 104 pounds.
I can never be 104 pounds. There's no way I would be 104 pounds. Right. So, I love building muscle, and I like to continue to, continue towards that shape. I'm somewhere between a wellness girl, I guess you would say. And I don't even want to say figure, because my legs are still not where they need to be.
I think you can say that though. You can be between those areas.
Yeah. I feel like my upper body is it's a little bit bigger, faster, but will I compete ever again? Probably not. Do people want me to? Yes. It's just,
but if you don't want to, then
it's just a lot on my plate. I want to look good for my business. I want to look good for me most of all, you know, and, I just, that's my goal. I want to be the face. I'm the face of my company. I can't be a fat ass. So
the face and the body of your company.
Yeah. Like, I practice what I preach,
Well,
you can't be a fatty out there.
What I always tell people, regardless of what your goal is, as a coach, my thing is always take it seriously. And so clearly, like, it's something that you take seriously enough because you're putting in the work and you're consistent with it.
Yes.
And that's all you need. It doesn't matter what that goal is. And if it's not stepping on stage, I think, competing is useful even for people who don't want to compete because it gives them ideas of where they want to take their physique. And be like, that's something to aim for. That, like, maybe not up on stage like that, but that kind of target. That's what I'm looking for.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I love that, that Amazonian woman, like, feel with the big legs and like the tiny waist and the nice capped shoulder. I love that whole look, like almost like a superhero,
Yeah.
Like
I asked if you got a little bit of a shoulder pump before we started here, but you wouldn't admit to that. So no.
They're naturally pumped all the time.
Naturally pumped. That should be the name of your next company. If you start up like an offshoot.
That's my Italian side. That's my Italian side kicking in. I love it.
When was the last time you competed?
Oh, 10 years ago.
Me too. But I'm competing in like 10 weeks. So
I know. Are you so excited?
I am, actually. Yeah. So
you like working with Kelly and everything too.
Yeah, your girl, who I just interviewed her a little bit ago, earlier today. These will post on different weeks, but in real life, I just interviewed her, and she's good at what she does. She is, and she makes the process. Yeah, and even though it's a lot of hard work, she makes it fun as much as she can. And so I appreciate that. I've had coaches in the past where it was a little bit more tedious, if not just downright dreadful. So the fact that, we're where we are right now and things are feeling good, I'm pretty happy about that.
That's good.
So let's talk about your business a little bit, because I am very curious to learn a little bit more about it. I have used a meal prep company locally in the past. They're not a local company. They're like a regional chain, like a mid-Atlantic regional chain, Clean Eats. I've talked about them on here before. And they've got they've got like 3 locations here in Knoxville. I've used them in the past. Their whole thing for meal prep is built around the concept of they have a menu that changes every week, and their menu consists of 6 meals, and they give you the macros for those, and you can get like, no carb, half carb, extra protein. You can go vegetarian. So there's multiple options, but one of those meals is always a breakfast option, which I never did. If you get one that's like seafood or has mushrooms, well, you can't do exclusions or substitutions. So those are straight out for me. So I'm left with like maybe 2 or 3 to pick from. And sometimes it's like the macros kind of suck for them. Like they'll do like stir fry things, which are great, but they're always like really skimpy on the portion. So it's like 20 grams of protein for this meal when I need like 45 or 50. So eventually I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to go back to doing it myself. So that is my experience with a meal prep company. Big picture.
I'm smiling here because it's
I know, because you're about to drop a bomb and you're about to be like, wait, watch this. Yeah. So give me the 30,000 foot view. Like how does your system work there?
We're custom. So we do have a menu for our lifestyle clients, or maybe if you're in off season and you are tracking macros and you just need to be in a surplus or a deficit. We do have 5 menu options each week, usually like a turkey, steak, or a ground beef dish, your chicken, of course. We'll do pork tenderloin. And that kind of rotates out. We rotate that out every Thursday and Friday. But as far as the macros go, you send me those. So we do not have a set macros.
Okay.
Say you set the macros. People get so confused over
so
that.
You'll have a meal that's like, this is chicken, rice, and veg, but that's it, and the portions are determined by the macros that I send you.
Correct.
That's
so
cool.
If you're keto, so if you're say you're doing keto and you have 35 to 40 grams of fat in that meal, and we can't break 10 grams of carbs, so veggies, of course. Mm-hmm. And then 40 grams of protein. We'll portion that out. I'll give you your vegetables and your meat, and then I'll have to add, your fats, your nuts and seeds, or your oils. I could still use that same menu. I'm just omitting the rice, adding the oil and the fats measured out.
Cool.
As far as the same meal for a low carb person, say they only want 25 grams of the rice in that meal. Okay, 25 grams of the rice, you got your cup of greens, and you get your whatever amount of chicken that you require to meet your protein for that specific meal. I do that for every single person that comes on board. There's not one single person who has the same macros.
Seems like a lot of work.
It is.
I'm assuming there are spreadsheets involved.
It's a lot of work. I have a system set in place, where I plug you in, I plug your goals in, and I have our menu on the side with all the macros broken down. I like to break everything down into grams. It's just a lot easier.
Yeah.
And then we plan it out from there. Every client of mine has their own column, and we're just here. This client doesn't like pork, so we're going to give them an extra turkey meal this week. Cool. Nice. Macros are, like you said before, the mushroom thing. I've got tons of people who are like, don't give me mushrooms. I'm not going to eat them. So if I make something like a Salisbury steak, with gravy and the whole, mushrooms, we just omit those mushrooms for you.
That brings up another question. So in your line of work, you probably get this a lot. I certainly deal with it a fair bit, but usually I don't have to sweat it too much. What are the most common things that people come to you with saying, I won't eat this?
Mushrooms, definitely.
Yeah.
For some reason, spicy foods bother a lot of people. I'm like, bring on the spice.
I guess it could be like a digestion thing for a lot of people.
Yeah. Green beans.
Really? Green beans? Green fucking beans? Are you kidding me?
Terrorist.
It's like the most innocuous food ever. Who doesn't like green beans?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Some people.
That's weird.
Asparagus, some people just don't like. I don't know.
It's kind of an acquired taste.
I like asparagus. I eat asparagus all the time. And then obviously omitting pork from their diet.
Okay.
Whether they think it's, it could be it's labeled like a red meat or maybe religious purposes. Mm-hmm. There's so many different types of clients that I have. So, pork tenderloin is actually very, very lean.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't really get that. There's only 1 gram of fat extra per 100 grams versus chicken breast.
I love it. I never make it, never have it because, it's a little non-standard. Like I don't know how to prepare it. Like I can cook up chicken, but I do it terribly because I just throw it in the slow cooker like a lazy son of a bitch and I don't know what I'm doing with it. So pork tenderloin, you give that to me, I'm like, I don't know. It's going to sit in the fridge until it goes bad probably is what's going to happen. So
yeah, we do a nice little roast on it or we'll do like a grill, but I love pork tenderloin.
You get a lot of fish and seafood aversions.
We do. I don't purposely put it on the menu because a lot of people will omit that in general, like the pork thing we're just talking about. They don't want to eat reheated seafood.
So you just leave it off.
So we leave it off. And if you need more, if you want to add it in, you can. But if you need more than 4 ounces, I'm going to charge you extra.
Okay. And that's another question. Since you've got the menu set up and all of the portions are custom for each person, how is pricing figured out?
Pricing is the exact same, whether you're eating, 8 ounces of a product versus 4.
Really?
And it kind of makes up. It kind of makes up for it. I've got these, tiny girls that don't eat much at all, or people who are, like I said, in a deficit. And then we have people who are eating a lot, and it kind of like is a wash for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, the biggest thing about my contribution for the service that you're getting is the convenience of having it pre-portioned. Yeah. Not the size specifically of the meat, But
when I was using the meal prep service, even though I had my issues with it, it was just such a joy to make one trip 10 minutes away, come back with a big bag of stuff that I stick in the fridge. And when it's time to eat, I just pull any random thing out of there and throw it in the microwave. And that's it.
Done.
Oh my God. And so anybody I don't want to just turn this into a blanket commercial. I'm happy to talk up a good company, but I got to tell you, if you haven't tried a meal prep service, like you don't know what you're missing out on.
Some people are like, no, I'm going to save money if I just cook it myself. But realistically, I just feel like it's so easy nowadays to get whatever you want when you want it. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to call Uber Eats or whatever and make a bad choice.
Yeah.
And then you're going to pay $17 for that meal anyways.
$17 for something that's going to throw you off plan.
It's going to throw you off plan or whatever in general. Yeah. It's a lot, after you check out, this fee and that fee and this tip, it's going to be $17-18 for the meal and not even come with a drink.
It's a good point. Good point. You don't even get a beer with it.
Nothing.
Nothing. I had it. It was right there at the tip of my tongue, right on my brain. It'll come back to me. You mentioned that the proteins kind of rotate in and out on a regular basis. Does that have anything to do with availability or just trying to keep the menu moving a little bit?
It did during COVID.
That was my next question. Okay.
It did during COVID to the point where sometimes I couldn't get pork product at all. And then beef was an issue. And then they raised the prices on chicken like a madman. It was crazy. I'm paying double. I'm still paying double than what I was paying at the beginning of 2020.
Wow.
For most products.
Really? My goodness. That's crazy because in the grocery store, I don't really see those kind of prices. So is that just like some way that they're jabbing you through wholesale? I
think so. I shop it really well. I've got a lot of different places where I go to for my product. I like to keep it as fresh as possible because we're a cook to order service. We're pre-order. So everything is sold before I even start shopping.
Okay.
No, right. I don't keep all food on hand. If I have, extra shrimp or something like that, maybe that I cook throughout the week, I might freeze that because I'll eat that,
But when you go and you order stuff, it's like, okay, cool, time to cook it up.
Ready to rock. Yeah. Order it. It gets to me or I shop it. We cook it. It starts to get packaged immediately.
How does that work from a business perspective? I'm just kind of curious behind the scenes now. Like, is that something that you do like every day, 3 days a week?
So, yeah. So right now, the ladies are in the kitchen currently doing some cooking, some prepping, doing some of my bulk protein orders. Because of the holiday this weekend, I'm trying to get everything out, as many things out tomorrow as I can. Typically, they would ship out on Friday. So my main work days are, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Oh, because if you ship stuff out on Friday and it doesn't show up until Monday, that's a problem because there's no delivery on Monday.
So what we do is I ship out on Friday and I have my different shipping zones. If I'm shipping, out of state, in state, it gets to you in a day. So everybody in Florida gets their meals on Saturday. My 2-day zone will get their food on Sunday. And then my 3-day zone, they're supposed to get their food on Monday, which is great because we do put everything in a cooler. We ice pack it, the dry ice and everything like that.
Yeah.
But if we don't prepare for anything longer than 3 to 4 days, it's going to get to you and it's going to be hit or miss. It's either going to be warm and you're going to toss it, which sucks because then I have to refund.
Yeah. And
you're no insurance company will touch me.
You're not really in a business where you can play the hit or miss game. Like you've got to go with the sure thing.
I got to go with the sure thing. And I'm starting to find that this shipping service is very unreliable.
Yeah. Do you typically find that like your 1, 2, and 3 day zones, do you more often than not, like they hit that target?
My 1 and 2s, yes. 3 days can be iffy. But this weekend it was ridiculous because it was mostly Florida who had an issue. And it blows my mind.
It wasn't hurricane related, was it?
I don't know because I don't watch the news anymore.
I mean, I think that's a smart thing.
I know there's a storm coming. I was like, well, whoops. I wish I would have planned for that because I would have shipped out on a different day.
The only reason that I knew about a hurricane is because I have clients in Louisiana who told me like, we have to evacuate. I'm like, what for? Oh, okay. There's a big hurricane apparently. Like I'm kind of unplugged right now as well, just for my own sanity.
My own sanity. I have enough on my plate, enough on my mind. And like, unless it's coming right through Tampa, then I just need to just stop.
In which case you've probably got friends that'll tell you.
I have friends, family, everybody's here. So but yeah, big FedEx issue. So typically, yes, anything outside of 3 days, I will try to do via air. And those are typically your Arizonas and your Colorados. California is not even on my map right now.
Okay.
Anywhere on the West Coast. It's too far, and I don't want to chance it. And shipping is outrageous. You have to pay just as much in shipping as you do for my meals, and nobody would do that.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, one option there would be, do you get people who will order stuff like a month at a time and just be like, I'll pay shipping for that, air shipping, that's fine. Just send it in a giant box and I'll freezer a bunch of it.
So that's something that we're working on. We like to do, we've been doing bulk, which is good. It's been taking off. A lot of our competitors like that because their diet might change every so often. So they'd rather just have the proteins done in bulk, and they can just add their rice or remove their rice or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be an option. That would be fine if they wanted to do that and order like 30 meals at a time and have like every so often have, a few every week. I would ship off that much. And
well, because you're going to eat it. We have credit cards, so just pay for it.
Yeah. And you can, because we vacuum seal everything, it's, easy to freeze.
Yeah.
So.
You mentioned that bulk protein thing, and that kind of interests me because I don't have any problem cooking up rice or veggies or stuff like that. What I can't do, and what a lot of my clients have trouble with as well, is cooking up protein that is edible after day 2. Or that's edible at all because they just, like me, they just suck in the kitchen and they're morons. And it's like, if it's not ground turkey, I can do ground turkey because I can open up a packet of taco seasoning, right? I mean, that's easy. Just dump it in. So anything beyond that, I'm an idiot. Like making a chicken breast that isn't a hockey puck in 2 days, like I can't do it. So that bulk protein thing, like, do you do it like by the pound or something like that?
By the pound. And we vacuum seal it. It's going to come in a little baggie, and you just cut it open and you just kind of take out what you want. And just roll it back up and put it in your fridge. It's very, very simple. A lot of people love it. And it's working out so far. We do everything. We actually have more options on our bulk. We're already cooking it anyways. So why not offer it in bulk?
Yeah. Yeah. So if I, as a competitor, know, okay, I put together my meal plan here, so I'll do the math for you. And I know I need 2 pounds of pork tenderloin and 3 pounds of chicken for the week. Order that up, and then I get these things in vacuum sealed bags. They can just go in my fridge, and you basically just do my protein prep for me, and I still measure everything out on my end.
Right. I do all your protein prep, and then I do rice. I can do your sweet potatoes too. I do your red potatoes. I do white potatoes.
Well,
we have it all.
I might hit you up on that because that sounds fascinating. So because right now I'm like, the only thing that I prep, like I mentioned, is ground turkey, and it's like taco seasoning. Okay, great. And I do 4 pounds at a time, and it lasts about 5 days, and then it's like, okay, time to make the donuts again. Here we go. And just like, it gets old, and it would be nice to have a little variety and stuff that was actually prepared by somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Especially, if you are on prep and you have flexible, meals to where you can either have turkey or you can have chicken or you can have like another source of lean meats. It's nice to have that choice to just pop in your fridge and be like, oh, I want some chicken today. You know what else is the biggest pain in the butt about it? And this could be like one of your slogans. I could see it right now. Like, I like slogans.
Made2Macro, let us do the dishes.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because that's the worst part.
I like eat the meal because it's like simple as that. Like all people have to do is really just put it in the microwave and eat their meal.
Shut up and eat. Yeah, that's smart. I got a few questions from people if you're ready.
Oh.
Here. Yeah. This is one that I thought was interesting here. And so this is not what you're doing because you've got a professional kitchen set up somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe you know this because maybe you've looked into this before. I think somebody's curious here. Is it legal to start a meal prep company out of your home? Food service regulations, policies, et cetera, anything like that? Do you know?
So there is a law called cottage law, which is if you're doing like baked goods, something like that, where you're not actually taking sales from online, having like that authorized.net or something, like actually having a website where you could purchase online, or maybe you're just selling it at a flea market or like
bake sale kind of thing. Yeah,
that's totally fine. However, if you are cooking actual foods, you have to go through your state. So you'd have to get your certifications, and you have to get
food handlers cards and
food handlers, your food managers, and have a legit catering license. Oh, I carry a catering license, and that actually I can go anywhere and cook.
Are there facility or kitchen regulations as well? Like anything preventing you from doing it at home other than you don't have enough space?
Well, besides, for me, like the online part, like everything is online for me. So I technically can't as far as that. I'm supposed to have, my 3-compartment sink, and I have to have a hand washing station. I have to have, my garbage by the hand washing station.
So those are all requirements.
There's different signs that are held up. Yeah, there's a lot involved. And I actually get twice a year, I get inspected. So they inspect the kitchen, they inspect, they check the temps on my food, making sure all the girls are wearing their gloves, making sure, everything is clean and we're handling all the food safely, like you said. But yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot to it.
There's a lot to it.
It's not just like, hey, I'm going to put some stuff in a pan here and sell it to people.
And people do. I'm sure people do, cook out of their home and sell it,
Yeah. Yeah. They'll like go into a professional kitchen and sneak in the back to take some professional looking photos, put those up on their website, and then they just cook at home.
Yeah, I work here.
Yeah. What is the most popular meal that's sold?
Oh man. I feel like when I put this on the menu, people go crazy. I mean, my turkey meatballs, I don't know what it is. People go apeshit. They love them.
This is a really bad interview to be doing right before I eat because I'm fucking starving right now, and this is not helping. This is not a pretty situation here. If I put the microphone down to my stomach, it's going to be making some noise.
It's the turkey meatballs. They just, and I use 97.3. I'm sorry, 93.7 turkey, and sometimes I'll bind them with a little oatmeal, depending on, I don't do that for my competitors because that's a carb. I can't do that.
Yeah.
But I season them and we bake them and we toss them like a little sauce. I usually have them every week. This week I have coconut curry balls with some jasmine rice. The meatballs I think are everybody's favorite. And then we do like a Thai peanut bowl, which I love.
Damn, that sounds good.
It's so good. And
stomach is grumbling again.
Yeah, I can either do that with the rice noodle or the actual jasmine rice. And it's it's so yummy because of the sauce of the, the peanuts, and it's spicy. And
yeah, you can't go wrong with that. I've come across some people that don't really like that kind of stuff. And it's like, I'm not sure I can trust you. Like, how do you not like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand what their problem is.
Here's a question for you. This is a question from me. So I'm talking to a meal prep expert now. So I want to get your opinion on this because I have wrestled with this a lot, and I am not confident that I have the correct answer here. So you're cooking up 93.7 turkey. You look on the package and you see what the macros are. Do you make any adjustments like, okay, I know a certain amount of that fat is cooking off. I'm going to make some adjustments kind of on the fly here and pull that number down a little bit because I know that's not accurate. How do you approach that?
So I don't actually use the packaging macros. I like to, because it's a set standard and I like everything to be as uniform as possible. I actually use the USDA food database for all my macros because I can plug in cooked 90-10. Cooked chicken breast. Okay, how'd you cook it? Did you broil it? Did you grill it? Did you braise it? Did you saute it? There's so many different ways. That'll give me the most precise across the board between everything macros. Okay,
so if you've got 93.7, you can go up and say, okay, cooked, because the packaging is just raw. And so, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I like that.
Because I'm gonna lose, like, for chicken, I lose about 30-35% after I cook it.
Yeah, it cooks down quite a bit. Yeah.
Fish is even worse.
Really?
Fish is the worst. Yeah, fish is the worst. And then
for many reasons, fish is the worst.
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. No.
My first show ruined it for me. I can't do fish anymore.
My wife and I went to Charleston a couple months back, and she's all about the seafood. And so she wanted to go to like all these seafood places. And I wasn't in prep at the time, so I would go along and just get like a burger or something. But even just sitting in the presence of all of this like shellfish and stuff, it's like I wanted to gag. It's like, oh God, it's awful.
That's so weird because I love shrimp. I love mussels, and I love escargot. I love oysters.
Oysters, oh man.
And I eat sushi like nobody's business, especially raw salmon. I could eat that all day long. I love it. But the minute you cook it, it's done. I'm done.
That's funny. That's funny. Huh.
It's so weird.
Everybody has their things. That's okay.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Another question that came in. And this is, I think, the question on everybody's mind here. And everybody's going to be looking for ideas. What is your go-to seasoning for chicken?
Oh. So for me, I love a good like smoked paprika.
Me too.
Oh my God, it's so good. It just gives it this. I do like marinating it with the smoked paprika, garlic. You could do some onion powder, salt, pepper, lime juice.
Okay.
Fresh.
It is very important also. Smoked paprika, not regular paprika. Yeah. There's a huge difference.
It's a big difference. It has to be the smoked paprika because the regular paprika is just for looks. It's just going to give you like a red color and waste of time. You have to get the smoked, But if you dump a little, it's going to change the macros a little bit. But if you dump a little tequila in there and let it just sit overnight, that's going to be the best chicken you've ever had in your life.
Really? Huh. Tequila's the secret ingredient. Who knew? That goes out in all the meals that you prepare, I assume?
Yeah.
Everybody on prep needs a little alcohol, right?
Keep them coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. Put a little crack in there or something too while you're at it.
That's in my protein bars.
Oh, okay.
We save the crack for the protein bars.
So that's a good segue there. So you've got all this meal prep stuff, but then you've also got some pre-made stuff.
Yes.
Like protein bars.
Our breakfast is a nice add-on because it's delicious, first of all. But
Talk about that.
the macros are set for those. So you'd have to tell me like, these are my macros for the day, but I want one of your breakfasts. So I would need to subtract those from your daily macros.
Okay. Gotcha. So that's fixed just to keep things simpler on your end.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for the client, then if I eat this, then I know I have, this for the rest of the day to split between my lunch, dinner, and snack.
Yeah. So with your rotating menu every week, there's a fixed breakfast option that comes in with that too.
Oh, what was that?
With your menu that changes every week, you've got a fixed breakfast option that kind of rotates.
Yeah, we usually do a protein bar of the week, which we changed the flavor out. Last week we did a funfetti. That was the best one I've ever had.
Really?
So good. So delicious. And then we have like typically a savory. So I'll have like a sweet and a savory, those two options. And they come in like a package of 5. So you can either get, maybe you just want 5. Like this week I'm doing biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy protein bar?
No.
Oh. I'm not going to lie. That sounds weird as shit.
Yeah. Chunk of sausage in this protein bar.
Like I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it.
No, that would be good. But they're delicious. And then we serve the protein bar with Greek yogurt to boost the protein in there.
Okay. And
then I like to just dump the yogurt on top of the bar.
Are these
a dessert? It's a dessert. It shouldn't be a breakfast.
Are these like no bake bars or?
Yeah. Well, no, we bake them. They're oatmeal based.
Okay.
They're oatmeal based.
Gotcha.
So, they're yummy.
Do you do any other baked goods like protein muffins or anything like that, or?
I was, it was like pulling teeth to get me to do the protein bars. Everyone's like, you gotta do it. Yeah, like please. Ugh. So I don't like gimmicks. If you want
I don't blame
a
you.
muffin, go get a muffin. Like,
just get a regular muffin, regular ass
it.
muffin.
Yeah. Go get that muffin.
I
If you
think,
want a donut, go get it. Like Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts, they're so delicious. Like, how would you even compare a protein donut?
you
Like,
would.
that would piss me off.
Yeah, honestly, it would just make you realize how much you miss the real thing. It's like the whole thing with like Halo Top and Arctic Zero.
Oh
I'm like,
God, it's like ice chips.
I'm like, all this does is remind me how much this is not actual ice cream and how
It's
much
not.
I want the real stuff.
It's horrible. It's a sick joke is what that is.
I think the trick that I would have in your business, in your shoes, owning a business like that, if I had the competency for it, which I don't, would be like, you want to diversify a little bit and offer options without pulling away from your bread and butter that you do really well and without diluting your efforts too much. Do you feel like pulled to try and, try something new here and there, or do you struggle, I guess, to kind of stay in your lane and say, no, this is what we're focusing on. We're going to keep doing this.
I'm not opposed to trying new things because like you said, our bars are delicious. People like adding them on. People like adding the breakfast part on. I didn't want to do breakfast at all. I eat the same shit every day. Like I eat oatmeal every day. So I don't stray, I guess, from my breakfast. And I think that way, but I need to understand like my clients don't all think that way.
I struggle with that.
Some of them
too.
don't eat breakfast at all. Yeah, and some people don't eat breakfast at all, and they just need some type of option. And I'd rather see a client eat something in the morning than like struggle, all morning, and then finally eat lunch and they're starving, and then they have to kind of make up for those calories throughout the day.
Exactly.
Which might work for some people who do intermittent fast, but I literally wake up and I'm like, food. Immediately.
and I think the people that aren't like that, it is a little, I wouldn't say concerning, but it's like, I wouldn't say that's ideal. Like, I want you to wake up and be thinking about food right away. That's a good sign.
Yeah. That's a really good sign.
Yeah.
I'm hungry right now.
Yeah, me too. Good Lord. Is this interview about done? I got to go eat. What's next on the horizon for you? Do you have any big plans, like growth on the horizon? Any new ventures you're thinking of?
I would love to, obviously continue on this upward momentum that I'm going. I think I'm getting a little bit more well known in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
But
you're working with some pretty big names.
Yeah, I am. I'm really blessed, actually. And they trust me. And that's like the best feeling in the world. Because that's their life. That's what they do as a job. So, I feel like my role, with diet being, 80-90% of the actual work involved behind the fitness industry, I feel like that's like super important to me, that they can come to me and trust me, with their nutrition plan.
Go ahead and name drop a little bit. Like who are some of the people that are trusting Made2Macro for their prep needs?
Man, we have a lot. So, Blackstone Labs and PJ Braun obviously took me on board in 2019, and that helped me grow a lot. And I'm really thankful for that partnership. And we continue to work together. I feed Nick Walker, which is amazing. He came to me before his New York Pro prep, and he's like, I'm using this service and they can't offer me what I need. Let's work together. I said, done. Alyssa Keisling, she's a women's physique. She's going to be in the Olympia as well.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren Dannenmiller, she's gorgeous. She's one of our bikini girls she's out of here in St. Pete, super local. Obviously Kelly, I work with her. Terrence Ruffin is one of my clients as well.
Man.
Classic physique. I work with a lot of amazing people, and I work a lot with Tim Gardner. I help him a lot with his shows. I like helping promote his shows too, because
Tim is local to you,
and he's local to me. And, I did all the local shows when I was, when I competed. So I love giving that back, and I love being a vendor. And I feel like people are really starting to see Made2Macro and my face at more events, which is really cool. I'll be at the Arnold in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
Supporting Nick and Terrence and whoever else I can feed. I'll be up there cooking. So
well, it's cool to see that competitors are like high level competitors are using a service like this, because I think it used to be, I don't know, there used to be like some kind of a stigma attached to this. Like if you use a meal prep service, you're lazy, or you're not getting, the quality or the precision that you could if you do it yourself. And I think you're doing a good job of being like, no, that's not how it works. It's like, what we do is probably better than what you're going to make at home. It's plenty accurate, and we do great work.
Yes. And that's the standard and the tone that I want to set for Made2Macro in this industry. Whereas, the nutrition has to be on point. They'll call you out on it. If there's an issue, they're going to say, this is what happened and we're going to need to fix it. And it gets fixed. And
for me, I know like one of my motivating factors in what I do is avoiding situations like that. So it never gets to the point where you get called out on something.
Right. So, I don't know. I love seeing that. I love the feedback, obviously, but I don't think you're necessarily lazy for hiring somebody or teaming up with somebody to do your food for you, when you should be focusing on, your training and your resting and, whatever else that you need to be doing. And if so be it,
it's about putting a price tag on your time. I think like, is my time, am I better off, paying somebody else to invest their time in this rather than me doing it myself?
Right.
And if you're in a position where you've got a budget where you can be like, maybe, I mean, I think, don't underestimate the value of your time and how much it would be worth to get a little bit of that time back not doing your own meal prep.
Yeah. It saves me. We prep my meals, and it's a time saver for me because I'm busy prepping everybody else's meals.
I know, right?
So I'm like, I literally, my food, my fridge right now just has my meals in it, and then like some wine.
because you need to wash it down with something, right?
I do like a nice glass of red wine. I have not had a drink in a really long time, actually, because, I have my goals.
Yep.
And it just sets me back, because if I have one glass, I'm going to have
5.
Maybe
2 or 3 is where you were going with that. I spoke for you.
It's something that we grew up with, and we always had at the table, and we love it. And it's just part of my lifestyle,
that Italian background, right?
Yeah. It's just, that red wine is just, it was there.
Ever present.
It's always present. And, I do enjoy it. And it brings out flavors of foods,
Yeah.
With the pairings. And now I'm just thinking of excuses of why I have 5.
Well, and I'm thinking like, we need to stop talking about this because it's putting my head in a bad place.
Yeah. No,
we're
good. I know.
I've got a nice bottle I'm saving upstairs, but it's got to wait until after the show.
Yes. Save that for post show.
Yeah. November 14th. Yeah.
Which one?
Lee Haney Games in Atlanta is where I'll be. Yeah. Okay. November 13th. So the wine will be probably that night, actually.
Gotcha.
Or maybe not. Maybe the next day. I'll recover a little bit.
Awesome.
How can people find you online, social media?
Yeah. So my Instagram is at Made2Macro, and then my personal one's at Alexis_Urso. And then we have obviously our website, Made2Macro.com, and that's the number 2, TO. But yeah, our website's actually really cool. I'm getting the bulk meats added in to where you can actually do that as a choice, versus having to buy an actual meal package. Okay. So we have the different types of options for our clients there. If they want to do the bulk, they want to do the actual meals. Everybody gets in touch with me anyways, because they want to, explain. It's funny. They don't understand it. And I get it, because they're not used to having an actual personalized service. So, I have to go through my spiel, and
you're probably like, whatever you're going to tell me, I guarantee you I've heard it before.
You're like, how do you know what macros I need? I was like, I don't. You're going to tell me.
You're going to tell me.
We're going to work through this.
There's no voodoo involved here. Like you got to communicate with me.
You got to tell me, or else I don't know. And then I'm stuck. I'm like, are you getting food this week, or am I just going to guess?
There is that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of communication involved, which is good. I am having to pull back from my phone a lot, because I'm just really overwhelmed, and it,
something we all should do from time to time.
My clients have direct access to me at all times.
That's dangerous.
It is, when you call Made2Macro, I literally, I answer.
Then again, I mean, that's what people want. I mean, when they're paying for a service like that, it's like, and they can get access like that. No. It's like, damn. Okay. I mean, it helps with that level of trust.
It does. And I do not mind, answering questions and being there. It's just sometimes I have to put it away and be like, it's like Sunday night at 11.
I mean, my day starts at 4 a.m. So I kind of have this implicit understanding with my clients. Like if you email me after 6, I'll get back to you the next day, like 6 p.m. Yeah. It's like, I turn into a pumpkin by 6. I'm done. So. And
I need to be more structured that way. I feel,
it's okay to set boundaries.
I want everybody to feel like they're getting their, attention, but I definitely need some breaks and some set boundaries there.
Absolutely. For sanity, if nothing else. Yeah.
I will lose it. I will lose it.
I'm going to check out those bulk proteins because that really piqued my interest. So, after we're done here, first thing, I'm going to go eat, and then I'm going to check that out. So
100% going to do that.
Might hear from me. I might blow up your phone and call you with some questions. I'll wait until like 9 o'clock at night or something though. So
wait till I'm in bed.
Yeah, definitely. So hang tight. I'm gonna sign us out here and sign off to Podcast Land. I just want to wrap up with you after that. So, check Alexis out, social media. Check out Made2Macro.com. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate any parting shots for listeners. Any parting shots? Any parting shots for everybody out there?
Just eat the meal.
Eat the meal.
Just order for me. Eat the meal. It's easy.
Let us do the dishes.
Let me do it. Let us do the dishes. Let's think of some more stuff I can do. Help me help you.
That's right. All right. Signing off on Podcast Land. I'll check y'all out next week. In the meantime, be safe.